We are live in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from the Smut Studio in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host, Joey No Chill Praino.
Hello, Andrew.
Joey, you're fighting through today.
I'm fighting through. I'm also I just want to shout out you guys, the whole team here, you, Bilbo, Tug, the whole gang for putting on great shows while I was gone. I mean, the segments that you did in my absence, I was a little bit offended. You're like, Joe's gone. Let's talk top 10 comedy movies and sluts from Saved by the Bell. I'm like, these are two of the things I studied my entire life.
I don't think we use the term sluts from Saved by the Bell.
I know. I couldn't believe you guys didn't go deep. Who was the original girl with the curly black hair that was in middle school? I was like, that's a.
Oh yeah, the Hispanic girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going Miss Bliss days.
Yeah, Miss Bliss days. Miss Bliss days are for the pretenders, right? Those teams in like 4 through 8.
Yeah.
They added Carmelo Anthony. They're the brown-haired girl.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. I love doing the NBA Saved by the Bell comparisons, Joe, but it didn't get traction on social media.
Yeah.
Which kind of
millennials.
But I don't think it's that for once.
No?
Because in my opinion, Twitter. I don't consider Twitter really millennials. I consider more Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was a little heartbroken because Nick put together a great segment.
You got to go into the now though. You need clickbait titles. You need like NBA teams are the girls from The Bachelor. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you need to capitalize on shit that's happening right now.
I couldn't do that though.
I know you couldn't, but that's why. By the way, we talked about this last night when you picked me up from the airport. The new show, DirtBalls, we got to get Andy Ruther on Love Is Blind. It's the best thing I've ever fucking seen, dude. You in a pod meeting girls without them seeing you or you seeing them, I think has Andy Ruther fame written all over it.
Well, explain the show.
They get put in like a house, like a real world style house, but there's 2 wings, guys and girls, and they meet in the middle in these pods where it's like confessional, where they can't see each other, but they can hear each other. And they go on just talking dates. And then they can leave the house if they get engaged.
I don't know, man. You know I'd be scared to do that because too many times, I'll just be honest, I've set this expectation up before I meet somebody because I feel we get along so well on text or phone, and then I see them in person, and it's a different ballgame.
Well, that's the whole point of the show.
I
then
know.
You see them. This one girl sees this guy who's like short, and she's like, it's just a meltdown. She hasn't said it outright, but the meltdown is basically that he's 5'6".
That exactly. That's why it's not even just looks. Sometimes people they're funny or they're interesting via text or even via the phone.
This is why you're perfect for the experiment, though. I need you in this. If they do a season 2, I'm nominating you.
What is it called?
Love Is Blind. It's on Netflix. The thing is, my girlfriend always jokes that you'd be perfect for The Bachelor when in reality you're like 38 years old, so you're like 15 years too old for The Bachelor. And I'm like, he's not going on The Bachelor. But this is perfect.
And you said...
Like one girl's 34, she's with a 24-year-old, and he's the one that's short. She came out. She's a disaster, by the way. She thinks she's like hot shit. Came out, and he's like, he's short. It's like, dude, you're old.
And you said Nick Lachey.
Oh, yeah, your boy.
Cincinnati fame Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees is the host.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I started watching it yesterday, and it was like airplane, download. It's great.
How many episodes is the show?
10. Also, this is the kind of thing, we should be doing live events for. Like the wedding ceremony episode, we're watching it live. At this point, I've seen such good return from the live events that you guys have been doing that I'm like, we're doing everything live.
Good.
We're doing the fucking impeachment live. We're doing Selection Sunday live. We're doing the fucking, NFL PA, press conference live. We're going live.
You like it?
Fuck it. Let's do it live.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do get great returns. The last 2 live events we did, NBA All-Star Weekend and also the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight.
And that was another great one. And we're going to do it way more, so turn your notifications on.
Yeah.
Because if I get inspired, I'm just going to be like, Bilbo, I'll be over there. Bachelor finale. Get this going live.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell your turn.
I'm turned.
You're a little under the weather though today. You're fighting. This is your. I know I've said this before, but this seems like your legit Michael Jordan flu game.
This is my coronavirus game. I'm not saying I'm tougher than Michael Jordan, but I do have a flu that's killing people. Yeah, I think, the trip to Colorado was awesome. If you live in Colorado, there's a couple of, basically every show I did is worth checking out. The Aspen Laugh Fest is dope.
It's a cool hat you have.
Yeah, they hooked it up, and I was like, this is a way to my heart, giving me a hat that I'll actually wear and a hoodie that I'll actually wear. Because a lot of times you do a festival and it's trash. It got everybody's fucking faces and names all over the fucking thing. This just got a little button. So check out Aspen Laugh Fest if you're there. The Boulder Comedy Show on Sundays is nuts. Bilbo's girlfriend came, and it was, sold out. And then Comedy Works, they have a reputation for being the best club in America, and it holds up. The crowds are nuts. So it was a lot of shows in a lot of days at elevation basically everywhere. And toward the end, I just hit a wall on this knee and just, my general energy level. I hit a wall somewhere, after the show Sunday night. Pushed through on Monday and Tuesday, but struggle is real.
Did you watch any sports while you were in Colorado?
A little, just some stuff on in the background. We had stuff to do basically every day, but I did watch the LeBron Zion
fun game.
Yeah, that was fun.
When are the Lakers? I keep saying it. I feel like I was a little ahead of the curve. I'll pat my own back on that. When are they seriously going to just start playing Alex Caruso more?
Yeah.
I've been saying this for months.
I think we've all been critical of LeBron's coaching. I think he's a fantastic, basically, half coach for all the teams he's had. But there is a method to his madness, I feel like. And sometimes he overthinks it. But also, is he saving him? Does he want there not to be that much tape on the guy?
Well, why are you saying LeBron? I'm talking about Vogel.
Right, but I'm saying between the two of these, I think when you watch the Lakers, the Caruso thing, the Lakers are basically trash when LeBron goes to the bench. And Caruso is a great off the bench, he's just a spark plug.
Yeah.
And so I think the timing of, and it's not always obviously a replacement. He's out there with LeBron a bunch, but the replacement of the energy guy for your best player who your team falls off, I think that's coordinated a little bit between Vogel and LeBron.
Yeah.
And, I agree with you. Vogel, the way that Caruso's playing, how could you not be playing him more? That's why I think that there might be a strategy here.
Gotcha.
I don't want to, I don't want to give him too much credit, but it seems like.
I just think, it's not even think. If you look at the numbers, him versus Rajon Rondo, I keep saying it. I just don't know why. Because
in this day and age, if you can't shoot in the NBA, you basically can't be out there.
Yeah.
And Rondo is shooting it better than he's ever shot it in the past, but it's still not good enough. And the amount of times I've watched Lakers games and he gets hot and has to heat check himself, it's like, dude, if you make 2 threes, just start passing. Call it a win. And I've seen games where he misses 3, 4, 5 shots in a row because LeBron is great at getting guys looks on the perimeter. You don't have to take them all, Rondo.
Yeah.
You didn't take any your whole career. Now you got to take every single one you have a good look on.
I see you rocking a Pelican shirt today.
I am, yeah. This is an old New Orleans Pelican shirt. It's the baseball team. I got this before the Pelicans were even the Pelicans. It's a great shirt. There's an incredible T-shirt spot up in San Francisco.
Wait a second. This is interesting. I didn't know this. So,
yeah, you see the stadium? Pelican Stadium, New Orleans.
So they named the basketball team
after the former baseball team that was there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, dope. I've always loved this shirt. It's got a blueprint of the stadium on it.
It's a no-chill nug.
Yeah, a little no-chill nug.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know what the craziest name to me? I love thinking about this. That the St. Louis Cardinals. I was doing a random Wikipedia dive.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night too.
That the St. Louis Cardinals from 1960 to 1987 had a St. Louis Cardinals football and a St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
And you like that?
I do. I think it's kind of cool. It's like, fuck it. If the Cardinal is this St. Louis bird, which I assume it is, based on
I don't think it is.
No, there's no geographical reasoning behind them choosing the Cardinals? There's got to be.
I don't know.
Nick,
can you look that up? I'm curious. Like, why?
I kind of like it, and it was always weird to me growing up that there was when did the Cardinals football team go to Arizona?
1988, I believe, 87 or 88.
So when I was a kid, there was always like, I wasn't like hyper into football before like 1988, but it was like I was like aware of it. You know what I mean? Like watch a Super Bowl, watch Giants games and stuff like that. So when they moved, there was still like the hanging around of like baseball or football cards, football posters, whatever. And I always just thought it's so cool that that they both were the Cardinals. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. I would think it would get confusing though.
There's also the New York Giants and the New York Giants.
True.
So that's why we are now called the New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
That's why they always use that term. If you ever wondered why they do that, like the Ohio State University, New York Football Giants, because we, obviously had the Giants that went to San Francisco.
You know why they call it the Ohio State University?
No.
Because "the" is the only word that people who go to Ohio State and football players can spell. Shots fired. Have you watching this combine stuff?
No, I have not. I'm not usually a combine guy.
Me either. And what's interesting is this year, I was reading a good article on The Ringer how this year's combine has been overshadowed by the NFL collective bargaining agreement with the owners.
Yeah, I mean, I've read more stories about that than I have about the combine. The combine for me is like, I mean, Tom Brady is the perfect example. Like, guys go to the combine, they embarrass themselves.
Yeah.
They go on to be one of the greatest football players in the history of the world. We have guys who have gone to the combine and killed it and, essentially disappeared. Like, where's John Ross's Olympic 40 from a couple years ago? Catching 30 balls a year in Cincinnati?
Being hurt 8 games a year. Yeah. Did you find anything on the Cardinals, the bird? I'm curious.
So the team's early owners were errant bird watchers and especially fond of the northern cardinal, state bird of the neighboring Illinois. Additionally, the name. Where was this? I just had something in here. Okay, so the football team that played in Chicago acquired its nickname because the owners were too cheap to order new uniforms. Instead, they purchased them secondhand from the University of the Chicago Maroons and figured Maroon and Cardinal were close enough.
Nice. Little Bilbo nug there.
That's an interesting
Good job,
story.
Bilbo.
Thank you.
So the owners.
So it's an Illinois bird.
So the baseball owners were bird watchers.
Correct.
By the way, that's a weird hobby. Can I just say that?
People get into it, dude.
Of all the hobbies, you're a bird watcher?
It's like the original Pokemon. See them all,
And then the football team, which I did know goes back to Chicago,
Correct.
was too cheap to get new uniforms. Nothing's changed with NFL owners.
Yeah, right.
Because they're such tightwads still, and that actually goes into our conversation with the whole the collective bargaining agreement, which, by the way, I didn't realize this. Here's something for everybody who's not following it closely. It's a 10-year extension.
Right.
So they really have to take their time, and star players who make a lot of money have been openly against it. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of players, and I saw the tweets from both those guys, and I thought both those tweets I liked them because they were both basically saying, guys, we make a lot, but we're looking out for.
Correct. We're looking out for everybody else. We are the face of our franchises. We're the biggest stars. We have the biggest social media reach. We're making the most money. But there are guys on this team who have less Twitter followers than Joe Praino and make, $200,000 a year or $400,000 a year, whatever the minimum is, and put their body on the line.
Yeah. I was reading the average NFL player lasts about 3 years. The average NFL player, after taxes, agent fees, all those things, will not make $1 million.
Wow.
In those 3 years. So there's no net gain of $1 million. So for anyone who's out there,
who does the you spoiled fucking brats,
it's just a lie. It's 100% lie. In fact, the Aaron Rodgers, the Russell Wilsons of the world, they are the 1% of
Oh, yeah. And
NFL
I mean,
players.
quarterbacks, even to the next degree. We're now getting to an era of football in the NFL where quarterbacks are truly men on an island.
They are.
They are going to get contracts that no one else is ever going to get. You'll never no other player will ever have the contract that Jared Goff, medium pizza, gets to play quarterback.
Everything's medium about Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Medium pizza, medium passer, medium hand size.
Yeah. So I saw an interesting thing recently. Somebody suggested that the salary cap should be for a team not including the quarterback. That you could pay the quarterback whatever you want. Now, obviously, that changes a lot from, the last couple of years. Tug and I's deep dive on quarterbacks on rookie contracts, quarterbacks like Tom Brady giving their team a discount. But that's an interesting thing, I don't think I love it, but it's interesting.
What are the pros and cons of that system?
The pros would be that, like you said, every team has one guy who's essentially the face of the franchise. Like it or not, with few exceptions, the quarterback is the face of the franchise. Like Khalil Mack's probably the face of the Bears over Trubisky, But like even look at Jared Goff. You're in L.A. Aaron Donald's multi-time player of the year, defensive player of the year. If you asked a random person walking down the street in Los Angeles, Jared Goff, I think, would be the face of the Rams. So it would be a way to pay this one guy to be the face of your franchise and obviously not affect the rest of your squad.
Yeah.
Like the like this Chiefs deal. What is going to happen when Patrick Mahomes signs for $45 million a year?
It'll never happen, but I kind of like it. Because you're right. You could argue that football is the only sport where the franchise is 9 times out of 10
one guy
going to be that position.
Yeah.
Because if I said, well, who's the face of the franchise for a baseball team? It could be a pitcher. It could be a first baseman. It could be an outfielder.
Yeah.
Same thing for basketball. What I liked about Russell Wilson's tweet was basically he was saying that the players have control in baseball. The players have control in basketball. And they don't in football.
And we've seen that the last few years. We've seen that from the Kaepernick thing to no one is bigger than the what do they say? The emblem?
The shield.
The shield. No one's bigger than the shield. And the NFL has gone out of their way in kind of a gross way to always remind you of that.
Yeah. I agree. And the thing is, I mean, it goes back to how unions started. The players do have the power. Like I don't think that they fully realize that, and that's kind of been the problem with the past negotiations, right? Is that the players don't realize that the current roster for the NFL is 53. You have 53 guys on a team. This was Russell Wilson's tweet. The NBA and MLB are doing it right. Players come first. All NFL players deserve the same. We should not rush the next 10 years for today's satisfaction. I vote no. Again, a lot of them have said the same thing. But that's what I love is that there needs to be more of that. The players need to realize without them, there's no league.
And I think that the Aaron Rodgers and the Russell Wilsons and the big name guys taking a little bit of the power back for the player is really important because we've seen this in the NBA. Maybe it's gotten a little too far in the NBA, right, where players can just basically say, I don't want to play here anymore.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it certainly makes free agency fun. It certainly makes trade deadlines fun. But, in the NBA, there's 5 guys on the floor. So the idea that these super teams can come together with 2 guys wanting to play together, you can't do that in the NFL. If Aaron Rodgers and fucking, Julio Jones want to be on the Packers together, it doesn't really make the Packers that much better.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say Packers were in the NFC Championship game last year. They had Julio Jones. They're going to the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't.
It's just not that way. So it's important that, again, the guys who are the dudes on every team just like the way it's happened in the NBA. Go out and go, no, we're
Yeah.
not doing this. We're going to speak on behalf of the guys who don't have a voice.
And I understand these things are compromises and you have to find some sort of middle ground. But at the end of the day, I would say of all the owners of major pro sports, the NFL owners are the worst. As far as how they treat their
The flip
players.
side of that coin, though, is it's the most successful league. I mean, in America.
True.
Right? Obviously, the NBA is more of a world game. But, you look at all the power that baseball players and the MLBPA and this all the talk we've done about the Astros and, him, making a deal with the MLBPA, the baseball's falling apart.
Yeah.
Financially.
It's a good point.
So I think that there just needs to be a balance. I think that the Kaepernick thing, again, a lot of other big moments where the NFL said, you cannot fuck with us. We need to get a little bit more toward the player side. Just a little. So these quarterbacks and these big-time players on each team reaching out or, coming out and saying, listen to us. It's very important.
Yeah, just some more give and take.
Yeah.
Did you see what Joe Burrow said about playing for the Bengals?
So I missed the whole – when did Joe Burrow say he wasn't playing for the Bengals?
Well, there's just a lot of things, and Tug and I went
This is just the Bengals being the Bengals?
Yeah, Tug and I went into detail. There's a lot of things that you connect the dots. Carson Palmer, as we played that clip on our show,
right.
said they don't care about winning. And he actually said what you said all along. He said the same thing. He goes, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
The Bengals don't care about that.
Yeah.
His brother, Jordan Palmer, who had a couple-year stint in the NFL as a backup, is Joe Burrow's quarterbacks coach.
Oh, wow.
He runs an elite quarterback coaching program. So people started connecting the dots.
Right.
And then also, Joe Burrow's agent is the same agent that Eli Manning had.
Right.
So people were basically saying, okay, Carson says this. His brother's his coach.
I don't know that guy's name, but I love him.
His agent, of course, is Eli's agent. So people started saying.
Right. But now he's saying he will play there if they draft him.
People aren't really looking closely enough at it. What Joe Burrow said the other day was, I believe he said, I believe his direct quote was, I will not play where I'm drafted. Because he used two nots. I remember that.
That's hilarious. That's, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Like, what the fuck kind of, tricky wording are you trying to throw at us?
And obviously, I got worked up. You know my feelings about the Bengals and their owner, Mike Brown. I've said, you have the power. You do. And we haven't seen it for a minute. We haven't seen it since Eli did it in 2004. I think the time is ripe for another guy to do this. And, again, I think he holds all the power. Why go to that organization?
Right. I mean, if you're asking me, obviously he's an Ohio kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know his feelings about his home state. I don't know if the second LSU gets out for Christmas break, he's flying to Cincinnati and eating some chili and going to Applebee's and getting the 2 for $20.
He's also near the Pennsylvania border. He's southeast.
But there is a hometown hero vibe around this. There's a lot of opportunity for him to capitalize on that. That being said, the Bengals are a dumpster fire, have always been a dumpster fire. I don't remember ever seeing any advertisement whatsoever with any Bengal, as good or bad as they've ever been.
I bet Ocho Cinco had a couple things.
Probably. Yeah, probably. But if you're the Bengals, you're in a decent spot too, though. Like, Chase Young's pretty fucking good, and he went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
He's great.
So, I don't know. Would you like to see him, as a former Bengals fan, who do you want the Bengals to take one overall? Or where do you want Joe Burrow to go?
I like Joe Burrow a lot. I want him to succeed. Even if the Bengals take him, I am rooting for him.
Seems like a good kid.
He does. He seems like a real good kid. I love his story, right,
Yeah.
Praino? He's not your guy who just was the 5-star recruit
Right.
and then went to college and was a star. He couldn't get any playing time at Ohio State. He goes to LSU. He has a mediocre first season there. and then explodes his last year. That's what I love his story. Joe Burrow has a fascinating story. For me to succeed, it's not in Cincinnati.
Right. Now, there's this whole thing about his offensive coordinator is now the passing coach at Carolina. But Carolina's also come out and said Cam's our quarterback.
They have?
Yeah.
No, I thought Carolina's getting rid of Cam.
No. They've come out and said Cam's their quarterback.
When did this happen? Did I miss this?
A couple days ago.
I must have missed this.
Which I thought was weird because when they got rid of Olsen and they got rid of seemed like they were shutting it down. Which I think you all know my thoughts on Cam Newton as a quarterback. So there was that story. Were they going to try to coordinate him to go to Carolina, kind of down in the same general regional area that he played football in college? His coach working his blah, 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 blah. But I think Joe Burrow ends up on the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals need a quarterback, and I think they take the hometown-ish kid.
I think they do too, but again.
Does he play?
This is the Bengals organization, and then we'll move on.
Rank the teams in order. If you were Joe Burrow, you would not want to play for.
Cincinnati, number 1. Detroit or Cleveland, number 2. I mean, just look at recent history.
Quality of life. Remember when I just smashed Ohio and everybody's like, "Ugh." It's like I think you're 100. I think if you ask 100 people, I think 99 of them would have Cleveland and Cincinnati in their top 3.
And there's it's not a coincidence that those 3 teams that I named, Detroit, Cincinnati, and Cleveland, I believe, I could be wrong, have the 3 longest droughts for playoff wins in the NFL.
Poor Matt Stafford. That's what Joe Burrow basically has to look forward to, right? Just like, maybe he's great, maybe he puts up good stats. I think Matthew Stafford is one of the most disrespected players in the NFL based on what he's accomplished.
I think he's good, but I also saw, actually, shout out to Twerks, Matthew Stafford has an atrocious record against teams with winning records. Like, it's one of the worst. Or was it playoff teams? He actually DM'd this to me. I thought it was interesting.
But again, football, it's bigger than one guy.
No, I know. I don't know if it Twerks. Yeah. No, he sent me something else. I forget who it was. So somebody DM'd something. It was an interesting list.
Yeah.
Because somebody was trying to basically Matthew Stafford was top 5 on there. Somebody sent it because Jameis Winston was on there. Which, God bless the Dirtballs for continuing the trolling of Jameis Winston. But Praino, we're talking football. I think it's the perfect time to give a plug for our friends at GTP Picks.
I love our friends at GTP Picks.
Right?
Somebody said to me, they were asking me the other day, they were like, "So you're a full-time comedian?" And I said, "Well, I do comedy and comedy-adjacent things." I was like, "I also have a sports podcast, so that helps pay the bills." I was like, "I also have a advertiser for our sports podcast that gives me sports winners all the time. That helps pay the bills."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Wow, that's an interesting career."
Well, look, guys, it's that time of year. Let's just be honest. Football isn't on. Baseball hasn't started yet. You just have the NBA.
Women's college basketball.
Women's college basketball. March Madness is around the corner. If you want to make sports more interesting,
gamble on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Put your hard-earned money out there.
GTP Picks, it's a data-driven sports betting service that offers winning sports betting advice for an affordable price. Just follow their advice and win. It's pretty simple. Right now, GTP Picks is offering a limited-time offer to all the Dirtballs. For the rest of February, all GTP packages are 25% off. You got basketball, you got hockey, you got college sports, you have European Soccer League. All these sports you can bet on, and GTP Picks will help you win that money. Simply visit gtppicks.com and use promo code DIRTY to unlock this limited-time offer. If you like making money while watching sports, investing with GTP Picks is a no-brainer.
No-brainer. I hate to say, like, I'll go just short of saying, try it and I'll give you your money back. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
But I want to.
Yeah.
If you don't win. Because it's that good. I love those guys.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to mix it up. Let's do dirtball calls in the middle. Of the
Ooh, I like it because I saw on the rundown. I already saw a couple of calls that I have. I don't want to say hot takes on, but I have takes on.
Let's do dirtball calls in the middle of the show. I don't normally do this, but yeah, like I said, I'd like to mix things up a little.
Fucking getting wild on a Thursday.
And we'll start with a football-related call because we were just talking football, and this is never going to end. But we'll play the call because he's a first-time caller.
Okay.
And I always like when first-time callers hop into the show. All right. So our friend, I believe he's from Chico. Let's see.
Chico.
Hey guys, my name is Michael Brezak, long-time dirtball here. Calling for the first time from Chico, California. My question for is all you guys, including Nick. So here it is. Who do you think is the future quarterback for the Oakland Raiders? Tom Brady or Derek Carr? Thank you guys.
All right, my friend. Tom Brady or Derek Carr to the Raiders. Can I lead this off?
Go for it.
I'm going to say neither.
Who are you going with? I'm leaning toward you as well. The reports are all that Gruden doesn't like Carr.
Correct.
He's not a Carr fan. I am a Carr fan. I'd like to sit down with Gruden and talk about this. I am a Carr fan. He seems to not be a Carr fan. Brady to the Raiders,
I don't see it.
makes a lot of sense, but I just don't think he does it. I don't think Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady knows his legacy's in jeopardy in Oakland. A little bit. You don't want to be another guy that goes to Las Vegas now, the Raiders, the black and silver, and how many players have we seen who was just like their worst days were as a Raider? I don't think Tom Brady wants that. I'm with you. I think it's Jameis. I'm still on Jameis to the Raiders.
Love it. Absolutely love Jameis Winston going to the Raiders.
It's almost like, and if you follow the Jameis Winston thing, as I do very closely because I hate Jameis Winston and all his supporters, it's almost a no-brainer.
You know what?
The Tampa Bay thing, like the idea that he is still in Tampa Bay next year, Bruce Arians should be checked for dementia.
I love Jameis, by the way.
You love him.
I love the...
You loved him on Hard Knocks, remember? You were like, he's a leader.
No.
I was like, his teammates hate him.
I don't think I called him a leader. There is a great Ruther take, an awful great Ruther take of MVP potential.
Yeah.
That I said. Here's why I love him. I love the hoopla and the comedy of it.
It's unbelievable.
Don't you love that?
If you search Jameis Winston on Twitter, if you just search his name, the replies to like tweets, like I saw one yesterday, PFF tweeted, Pro Football Focus, who will be this year's Defensive Player of the Year? 100 people replied Jameis Winston. 100.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, this guy.
And then on the other end,
It's a fucking punchline.
you have vehement Jameis defenders.
Yeah, like lunatics like that wrote a book and are also the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, Nick. Now, he included you in the call. You're officially part of the team. It's going to make you feel good. He wants your analysis.
He's giving you two options, or I guess we both took door number 3.
I got my answer. Based solely off an Uber driver experience I had recently. My boy Rick, turnt Raiders fan, loves Derek Carr. He says Raider Nation loves Derek Carr. And just, I mean, he thinks, my boy Rick, 5-star rating, by the way, drives a Prius, needs weapons around him. We're a couple years removed from the Derek Carr MVP candidate.
He got a vote. He got a couple votes.
He did.
Yeah.
You want to hear a fun fact real quick? Not to cut you off and then go back to you. Derek Carr has had MVP votes. I believe Russell Wilson has not. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. I saw that this year.
I think Derek Carr is capable.
I think he is too.
I think he is too. It seems like Gruden doesn't like his style, but this whole, like, you need a gunslinger, like, there's no way Derek Carr can't throw the ball 60 yards. He's in the NFL. He can throw a football 60 yards. I know he can.
Also,
100%.
You're getting rid of your weapons like Amari Cooper. There's not really a guy in Oakland right now, is there?
No.
Didn't they just get rid of their tight end too? What's their tight end's name?
Well,
No,
they had the kids. I mean, if you watch Hard Knocks this year, they got the kid from Clemson. He played decent this year in the
Renfro?
slot. Yeah, they got the kid
They re-signed the tight end who had battled alcohol abuse.
right.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's decent. The kid who's like kind of a wide receiver turned tight end.
Yeah.
My thing with the Raiders and Derek Carr is like, yeah, I think it certainly obviously always helps to have weapons around him, but they have a great running back now.
Yeah.
The Gruden, like, let's play defense, let's run the ball. I've always liked Derek Carr, but the other thing with the Raiders is if you don't make a move now to a Brady or a Jameis or whatever, you can keep Carr and draft a kid.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not sold on him, then don't be sold on him.
Well, let's look at that division real quick, and then we'll get to the next call. Obviously, the Chiefs are going nowhere.
Right. They have the best quarterback in the division. We all agree on that.
Exactly. But let's look at the other teams. Chargers, giant question mark.
No, yeah. Great defense. But what did they do? Right? With that great defense.
Broncos.
And even great defense, it's like, how great were they?
Yeah.
They're great on paper. Broncos,
Question mark.
they like Locke, but we've seen a lot of quarterbacks play great for a couple games.
So, look, can the Raiders succeed and make the playoffs with Derek Carr? You're obviously a much bigger Derek Carr fan than me, but I'd say they can.
I think they can. They almost made the playoffs this year with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Vegas is going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Vegas, I mean, think of all the teams across sports in history. New building,
Yeah.
just a whole new vibe.
Yeah. Well, let's keep the calls football related. I want to do another one from our buddy down in the, I believe, down in the Bayou in Louisiana.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah. I knew you'd be chomping at this one. If it plays. Come on, call.
Hey, boys, Ron from Louisiana here. Drew Brees just announced he's coming back for one more run, and it got me thinking, does anybody in NFL history deserve a second ring more than Drew Brees? Now, I know if we're talking one ring, we can get into the Dan Marino discussion, and I personally think Marino deserved one. But does anybody deserve a second ring as much as Drew Brees? Because, Aaron Rodgers has been on some bad teams, with some bad coaches. He's really the only other guy that comes to mind. And Drew Brees is putting it together. He's had 3 heartbreaks in a row. So I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on that. I know it's slow season. Keeping it under a minute for Andy so he doesn't freak out. Have a good one, boys. Stay dirty.
Can I lead this off?
Yes.
So when I saw that on the rundown, a couple people came to mind. Brett Favre, for one, but I actually don't think that Brett Favre deserves a second Super Bowl more than Drew Brees. But my answer, and Aaron Rodgers also, like, Aaron Rodgers is right now pacing to do the Drew Brees thing. Like, I don't think you could say Aaron Rodgers deserves a second Super Bowl more than Drew Brees right now. Now, if he plays 5 more years at a super high level and suddenly he's in the Brees category of being 40 plus, doesn't have another ring, I think you'd question it. But my answer is Steve Young. Steve Young having 1 ring is a problem to me. Everybody knows my GOAT, if I was going to pick one quarterback to play a Super Bowl, would be Joe Montana. But the idea that Joe Montana has 4 rings with that 49ers team and Steve Young has 1 ring with those 49ers teams is unfair. Steve Young is one of the greatest quarterbacks in history. He's a Hall of Famer. He had to back up arguably one of the GOATs for a while. He had to play in fucking Tampa Bay. When he got in there, and also a bad injury history because he was one of the original mobile quarterbacks. I think Steve Young is the quality of quarterback. First of all, I think Steve Young's a better quarterback than Drew Brees. I'll just say it. I think he's a better overall quarterback. And
Why do you say that?
because of the way that what Steve Young was able to do in terms of being a very I think for a while he had the top passer rating of all time because he was, he just played clean. And he was a system QB with exceptional talent in being able to run, in being able to have crazy touch. Drew Brees, meanwhile, is a stat machine. And like I've said many times before, I don't think you want your quarterback leading the league in passing.
That's a tough one for me, I'll be honest. That's a tough one for me to hear because I don't know if I necessarily agree. I think Steve Young's great. I'm looking at Steve Young's career numbers, Joe. I mean, it's a small window.
Exactly.
He basically was, as far as full season, he was the Niners' full season as far as post-Montana, starting QB from 92 until 98.
Right.
And he got hurt in 99. So it's 7 seasons.
And I think the reason he's my answer is because on any other team, he's the 15-year quarterback.
I will say this. In those 7 seasons,
he won an MVP.
His numbers were lights out. He was ahead of his time as far as completion percentage.
Yeah.
In those 7 seasons, he led the NFL in completion percentage, 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
He led the NFL in touchdown passes 3 times.
He is the modern quarterback. He is very similar to the Aaron Rodgers, the Patrick Mahomes.
You're right. He led the NFL in rating 6 of the 7 times.
On any other team besides if he's not backing up Joe Montana, who knows? It's the only guy he couldn't be ahead of on the depth chart.
Here's the thing. We're talking. The question is deserving another Super Bowl. It's a tough question for me, to be honest.
The thing about Drew Brees deserving another Super Bowl is this guy goes 3 heartbreaks in a row. It's like he's had the opportunity for another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Whereas Steve Young had set a 7-year window with the Niners. He dominates. He wins an MVP. He wins a Super Bowl in blowout fashion. He was incredible in that Super Bowl. And to me, it's like if you give Steve Young the 20 years that Drew Brees had as a starter, I think he does have another Super Bowl. Whereas, like, Drew Brees deserves another Super Bowl. Why? Because he keeps blowing Super Bowls?
Well, I was going to say, my only thing about Drew Brees is what you're addressing. No one's saying that he hasn't had heartbreak losses in Minnesota, the bullshit call against the Rams. But let's not forget that Rams game. The bullshit call, the game went into overtime.
Right.
The Saints got the ball first.
Yes.
What did Drew Brees do? He jacked up that bad interception downfield. So he had his chance. Let's not forget that stuff. The notion, I just, in a way, I don't like this even scenario, this notion that people deserve another. I think Drew Brees has had opportunities.
Yeah, he's been, had opportunities. He's the guy in New Orleans for 15 years now.
Yeah. To me, the most crushing guy to never get a Super Bowl, we all agree.
Obviously, it's Dan Marino.
It's Dan Marino.
Right. Jim Kelly, but Marino still is to not get one, I think, is the guy.
Yeah.
But, it's the question is 2, because there are guys with 2 who deserves 3. There are guys with none who deserve 1. He says 2. So let's talk about it. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Kurt Warner, Steve Young, Breeze, Phil Simms. I'm just throwing guys out there who have Russell Wilson.
I think you've I'm not going to disagree. I think you've stated a very good case. At first I was like, where's he going with Steve Young? I see your case. Pulling up the stats. Holy shit.
Yeah, Steve Young was incredible.
You are right.
There's a lot of people who, you can't argue with the success that Montana had. But there's a lot of people who think Steve Young has one if they get rid of Montana earlier. Now, how do you do that when a guy's got 4 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Right? That's basically what we're doing. We're talking about with Brady here.
Sure.
Like, how do you move on from a guy? But a lot of people think Steve Young, the USFL thing, the Bucks thing, the backing up Montana thing, he's in the Hall of Fame because he was so fucking good for 7 years.
Yeah.
I think Steve Young on the Niners for 15 years or on a lot of other teams might have another Super Bowl if he had been able to move to somewhere else earlier or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my choice.
Yeah. I can't deny it.
I think if you ask Steve Young, if he got the amount of snaps that Drew Brees had, if he'd have a second ring, I think he'd say he would.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move it to a baseball call.
Ruther and Praino, what's going on? It's Luke in Cincinnati. I got an investment question for you guys. So I was thinking about it the other day. You know, Rob Manfred's already saying that you can't be throwing at the batters of the Houston Astros and everything. Okay, well, here's the thing. As baseball guys, we understand that somebody's probably still going to do it, like, you know, the first 1, 2, or 3 teams that are like, you know what, we played them first, we're going to get them. But if the pitcher that gets fined for that, if he were to set up a GoFundMe and say he gets fined like $50,000, would that be the single best $10 that anybody could spend? Is to single-handedly help pay for the fine that got the Astros back? At least a little bit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because I might even throw a 50 on it, because fuck the Astros, dude.
A GoFundMe.
I think this is the single greatest call in Dirty Sports history. I think we're starting a GoFundMe to pay the fines of players that drill Astros this year. $50,000. The way people hate the Astros, like, I would not be surprised if we get $500,000. We are doing this the second this show ends. We are setting up a GoFundMe to pay the fines of players that drill Astros. This is the greatest call in the history of Dirty Sports.
Shout out to Luke from Cincinnati. There's a lot of traction, and I wish I did. I don't know if I followed them. Maybe I did. This is how I know what you're saying has truth to it. Somebody started a Twitter account. It's basically tracking the Astros, like guys who get hit.
Yeah.
I forget the. I want to know the. Hopefully, I'll get it by the end of the show.
I want to pay for all of them.
But I was looking at the interaction,
yeah,
the follows, and the retweets, and the likes.
I think this is our new. I think this is our thing. Like, I think Dirty Sports is taking this idea and we are going to make it real. Somebody needs to do this. It should be us. Let's start a GoFundMe. Dude, if we make $50,000, okay, we pay the first guy. You know what I mean? If he gets $10,000, we pay, if it's a $10,000 fine, we pay the first 5 guys. This thing could get traction. We could end up paying all the fines.
So.
And you know what's great about that?
What?
Is then people are fucking willing to do it. Because they know it's not coming out of their pocket.
So the Astros have played 5 spring training games. 7 players have been beaned.
Right.
Baseball's done nothing so far.
Right.
Now it's also not regular season.
Right. I've seen a lot of things. They're getting hit with a lot of off-speed pitches. Guys are kind of hiding it. But that's why this is great. If the fucking Adam Hamari cheddar dicks and the Rob Manfred cheddar dicks of the world try to make a fucking point by finding somebody, make an example out of somebody, we are there with our fund, with the Fuck the Astros fund.
Yeah. It's a pretty great idea, I'm not going to lie, Luke.
It's the greatest idea in the history of dirtball calls.
You're going that far.
I am. I'm on a lot of medication, but that's where I'm at. Nick, what do you think? Somebody's done this?
Yes. Hold on, Nick. Nick, get on the mic here about this. This was the feed that I saw the other day. It gets the reason I think there's validity to this idea is that this Astros thing,
Asterisk Tour on Twitter, 2020 Astro Shame Tour. So they're kind of tracking pretty much everything that goes on with this Astros scandal when it comes to hit by pitch, any signs at the games. They have 101,000 followers.
It's fantastic.
They joined this month.
Think about, like, imagine if we get half of that for $5 a person.
What is the
$250,000 in fines?
Asterisk Tour.
Because I want to follow them. I mean,
101,000 followers in a month.
I'm 100% sure I looked last week. They had like 35,000 followers. My point is everybody wants to follow this feed.
Yeah.
Because the hatred, I've said this and I'll say it again. I've never seen one team in my entire life of following sports hated this much.
Yeah.
Like the hatred for the Yankees or the Patriots or the Lakers or whoever, big team, big market, it pales in comparison.
Luke is a goddamn genius. Let's pay their fines. This is good for dirty sports. This could get some press, dog.
I agree.
Let's pay these fucking fines. I love it.
All right, let's do a couple more calls. If you want to call, our hotline is 310-359-8365. This call's been sitting here forever, so let's give him some love.
Hey, what's up, boys? This is Coach Smalls coming to you from beautiful Destin, Florida. And my question is, if you look back through sports history, what would be some plays that if they were to go the opposite way that they did during the game would have altered the entire landscape of the sport itself? So I'll give you a few examples. Think about the block. Let's say when LeBron goes up, he catches Iguodala with the body. Iguodala makes some free throws. Warriors win the championship. Well, now they're the greatest team of all time. Maybe Durant doesn't go there now. Maybe LeBron sticks around in Cleveland and trying to get that elusive championship. Another example, going old school for you, how about the fumble? The 1988 playoffs when Ernest Garner fumbles for the Cleveland Browns going in to win a playoff game. What if he doesn't fumble and the Browns end up winning the game, maybe going to the Super Bowl, maybe winning the Super Bowl?
No way they win that Super Bowl.
Maybe in a few years they don't move to Baltimore and become the Ravens, and Ray Lewis is murdering people in Cleveland.
Too soon.
Think about how that alters kind of the whole landscape of the sport. So that was my question. Bilbo, Twerks, feel free to jump in if y'all got any ideas. And, something to get us through the doldrum times. So stay dirty, boys, and condoms are forever for Maria. Fuck that bitch.
Whoa.
Throwback.
Old Maria from Sideshow Network. I mean, look, you're playing the butterfly effect game.
Right.
You could do this about anything in life.
You could, but I think the question is that how one game being changed could affect, multiple events in that sport. I mean, how about the Tucker rule? That was the very first one.
That's the biggest.
That's the very first Patriots championship. Now, you think about Belichick is a great coach, Brady, blah, blah, but if they don't get the one, do they change anything? They don't get the first one against the Raiders?
I love that one. I think it's tough to beat the Tuck rule. I mean, the what ifs, you could really go deep on this.
Yeah, I mean.
And by the way, I alluded to it during his call. Just so you know, if am I wrong or right on this? Was that the Browns Broncos AFC Championship?
Yeah.
Where then the Broncos lose 55-10.
The Broncos get smacked in this because the Broncos didn't play a close Super Bowl for a while.
No, but I'm saying, do the Browns get smacked too?
Yeah, I'm saying the Browns get smacked. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you look at two teams that are playing a close game in Cleveland. I forget if it was did they get smacked by the Giants, did they get smacked by the Niners, but they got smacked. I know that.
Yeah. I think it was the Niners. I mean, you can do this for your guy. Your guy, Eli and David Tyree, the catch.
Sure, but does that change football that much? I mean, it certainly changes Eli's legacy.
But not just Eli's. The Patriots go.
The Patriots go 19-0. That's pretty. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty huge. Yeah, I guess that one. I was just about to say doesn't really affect. Like, okay, the Patriots have one more championship, but yeah, they go 19-0.
I mean, this isn't on that level, but it's pretty big. The UNLV team that loses to Duke in the Final Four.
Yeah, but
I mean,
that doesn't come down to one play.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? I I mean, the Duke, the Leitner shot against Kentucky, maybe, if we're going college.
Yeah, that's a great one. How does that change the trajectory of
John Starks hitting 1 of fucking 18. Can he hit one more 3?
Yeah.
If he hits one more 3,
Yeah.
Olajuwon only has 1. The Knicks, Ewing gets 1.
Yeah. I mean, you could really. I feel like this is something McCockiner likes to do.
Yeah.
Like when he shits on players, he likes to play the, well, if this and this happened. I'll be honest. In a way, I don't like to play this because they did happen.
Right.
I mean, we're living in like a hypothetical universe.
Universe?
Why did I say universe? Universe. Why did I say it like that? Now, like if you took, okay, so me, Bilbo, and Twerks just played a 3-point contest. You know, what if one of them had started out hotter?
Right.
Do they actually beat me? The answer is no. I will never lose to anyone on Dirty Sports in a 3-point contest. You heard it, Joe. Get healthy. I'm going to beat you. Tug Coker, get healthy. You're already healthy. I'll beat you. I will challenge anyone to a 3-point contest.
I will put my money on Tug Coker right now.
Bring it.
And I like my chances if I get healthy. But I'll put my money on Tug Coker right now.
Okay. You think you can beat me?
I've seen Tug Coker stroke.
Okay.
Tug's got a good jump shot.
I think if I had, if I was feeling it, if I had the proper coffee and protein that day, I could probably take you.
The idea that you're not going to ever go cold.
Never. Aaron is tweeting out that he's practicing. He wants to play basketball with me and Nick every week. Now, I would argue again, the three of us, his jump shot is the worst. You've seen it. You were critical.
Yeah.
Two hands?
It's not horrible, but it's not great.
Yeah.
But maybe the boys practicing.
Maybe we'll do a mock round tomorrow or something.
I'm always asking to get out there with you.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do it. All right, let's get to one last call. Speaking of Aaron, that was the segue. Our last call and also the raunchiest call of the segment today on Dirtball Calls. Old Twerks. Listen to this thing.
Yo, what up, fellas? This is Aaron Maharis, a.k.a. Twerks Beat here, actually calling in for the first time. And me and some of the Dirtballs were talking and brought up a good question, and just kind of wondering, what is the sketchiest place you guys have ever jacked off? Meaning the chances of being caught were either really risky or, if you were to get caught, it was just either really bad or just straight up, unsafe or who knows. But yeah, just want to know that. All right. Later, fellas.
What's going through Aaron's head to make this phone call?
I don't know.
Like, did he just get done
Jacking off somewhere?
in a shady spot, and he's like, man, where's the craziest place I should not have masturbated at?
What is I mean, like, you know me, I'm not a.
You're.
I don't get hit with like I need to jerk off right now or I'm gonna die. I think I did it at work once.
Yeah.
In the bathroom. I think that's the only thing that comes to mind. Did it in like a office bathroom.
Oh man.
That's not even that bad.
I'm embarrassed on a few of these.
Let's see. This is why we have you here.
I was babysitting kids.
Oh my God, you're a sex criminal.
No, they were not in the house. And I was probably like 15. I was babysitting these two kids in my neighborhood. They were outside. I started looking at Dad's Playboys when I was taking a dump. You know where this ends. The kids were outside. Pretty shady, though.
Yeah.
Pretty gross. And then also, so I guess that's work-related. Also, I used to work for a commercial moving company in college, and we were moving out a bunch of furniture from dorms at University of Cincinnati. And this one girl's room, she hadn't taken down a bunch of pictures. And then I got motivated by some of her nice pictures, and I went to the bathroom of the dormitory. The kids were not in school. There was nobody in the dorms.
Yeah.
And I handled my business. I mean, those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Never on like an airplane or anything. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, now they're all coming back. St. Louis University Library. I think the 6th floor or the 5th floor of the Pius Library.
Bilbo?
Do I have to answer this question, really?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So you did a library?
Yeah, in college.
It's like that, wasn't there a girl who became famous for doing that because she webcammed it?
Ooh, you're right. On a college campus?
Yeah.
That's right.
You're just like her, man. Found her footsteps. I don't know. Yeah, probably work. You know,
My bathroom.
you go to the bathroom for a little
Yeah.
break.
You mean this work?
Yeah.
Poor Bilbo. His parents watch this, listen to this. Yeah.
Have you ever done it in the car? I had friends who were always like, "Oh, I did it while driving."
No, that's weird.
Absolutely
yeah,
not.
that's weird.
That's like where are you finishing?
Yeah. No, I've had friends who said that they have done that, and I was like, that just seems dangerous
Yeah.
and dirty. And
You know who I'd love to get on this question? Your brother.
yeah,
Actually, both your brothers.
yeah,
I figured both your brothers would have some weird answers, right?
yeah. I mean, on a turtle's hard to top. Onto a turtle, very difficult to beat.
No, not just onto a turtle. Someone's sister's pet turtle.
Yeah,
All-time great. Legend.
yeah.
Guys, those are the calls. 310-359-8365. If you want to contribute with anything from your masturbation habits to an actual sports call. We are here.
Now, you said that was in the middle of the show. Are we going back to other things?
Yeah, let's do a couple other things.
Oh, okay, great.
Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Joe, the coronavirus, it's here and it's not going anywhere.
I've got it.
I feel like you do. The Olympics could be canceled this year. This is real news.
Canceled.
Because of the coronavirus. If it's not controlled in the next few months, and my favorite part of the story, you had to have seen this trending. The concern for this year's Olympics, which will be in Japan, they're going to start July 24th. The concern for this has been voiced from former Canadian swimming champion who's also been on the International Olympic Committee since 1978, good old Dick Pound.
Dick Pound. Wow.
So Dick Pound is concerned, and a lot of people are concerned that
If Dick Pound's concerned, you should be concerned.
just go by Rich.
A guy named Dick Pound, probably not concerned all that often.
Why does he not go by Richard? Just go by Richard Pound. Do you really have to go by a porn name, Dick
Yeah.
Pound?
Dick Pound.
Is there a better name?
Can you imagine being in the 70s Olympics and being like, in lane number 3, Dick Pound, and he's like, bonjour, bonjour. You got to swim next to Dick Pound.
That's intimidating.
Ruther in lane 4, 5, Dick Pound. You're like, I don't have a real good shot of winning this
Yeah.
one.
There's no way I'm beating this guy. His name's Dick Pound. Now, I was doing a deep dive last night.
On Dick Pound?
No, but I
On the coronavirus.
on the coronavirus. It's near the pandemic stage. So,
Okay.
so we're not, according to the World Health Organization, they do different things, epidemic, pandemic, they have different terms. We're near the pandemic stage. That just means so many people have it. Here's the one thing about the coronavirus. Only 2% of this virus have fatalities.
Right. But the big thing is that this isn't contained. We don't have a thing. We don't, I know I read something about it's really only killing the weak, the elderly, and the whatever. It's basically just like a flu. You'll be fine. But
you're still quarantined.
you're still quarantined because they don't know what the fuck they're doing yet.
Yeah.
So this is like the bird flu again.
Yeah.
But the Olympics, will it be moved or it'll just be
No.
canceled?
It'll be canceled.
Canceled.
So that's what they're saying. Again,
Well, I hope that's not the case because I love the Olympics.
there's a few months. Speaking of live events,
Yeah.
how many live events are we going to do during the Olympics?
I think we did some last Olympics, didn't we?
Did we?
I think we did. Didn't we call one of those women's volleyball games?
No.
No? Well, we should. I love the swimming. It's my favorite thing, the swimming in the Olympics. Track and field's always fun, especially the sprinting and the marquee events in the track and field.
Yeah.
I love the Olympics.
They're fun. Definitely summer is better than winter.
Yeah. Winter's pretty fun these days, too.
Yeah.
The speed skating and the snowboarding.
Who's playing for the U.S. men's basketball team? I feel like nobody's playing anymore.
It's still up in the air. LeBron was hinting that he is and he isn't. So I think the roster's undecided. Which is funny because it's like this summer.
Yeah. The Olympics start in July.
Yeah.
Yoshi is planning on going.
Not surprised.
Yeah. Yoshi, I feel like
Didn't he go to the last Olympics? Yoshi does this shit all the time.
Yoshi's been a Chernobyl. I don't think he's worried about the coronavirus.
Yeah. Yoshi's been to Chernobyl. If we had Yoshi on this episode, he'd be like, yeah, I jerked off at Chernobyl. You're like, okay, that's dangerous. Taking it out at Chernobyl could wilt away in your hands. He's like, I had to. I mean, if you had to guess, would you say that while Yoshi was in and around Chernobyl, he jerked off? I would say for sure.
100%.
Yeah. He's a fucking... That's the guy we got to get on this show. He's probably got a million different... He's going to be like, in my car right after I hit a guy on Mildred?
But I feel like Yoshi also is the guy who doesn't do that. He just gets prostitutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I think he's the kind of guy who gets prostitutes and jerks off like 11 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Yoshi's a sick man.
He is. He's a very sick man. I want to do a couple baseball things and we'll wrap
Let's
up this
do
show.
it.
The Madison Bumgarner. We have to do this.
Wild.
Madison Bumgarner has been competing in rodeos with an alias name the last few years.
And he's been winning.
Yeah.
He's won a couple of events.
He's been competing under the fake name Mason Saunders.
Good for Madison Bumgarner.
So a photo surfaced on Sunday in The Athletic.
Where was this rodeo?
Let me see this. It was
Because remember, he got hurt a couple of years ago when he was dirt biking in Colorado. So he loves being around rodeo towns.
yeah. All right. This is from a Las Vegas event.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of Mad Bum on a horse. This is where they're roping cattle.
Yeah.
It's that type of rodeo. So he always used a fake name because he didn't want
It to be a big deal.
it to be about him
Right.
and not the other contestants.
Good for Mad Bum.
Also a little reckless. I mean, the guy's already
100%. But we've already talked about this. Like, we've seen him get injured on a motorcycle. We've seen him many pictures of him carrying his gigantic wife on his back. Mad Bum gives zero fucks.
God, I want to say it. I have to say it. What do you think was harder, riding that horse or riding his wife? What was more difficult to contain?
I mean, that's, she has told the story about, like, their first date. Like, he roped her. She was trying to get away. He got her around the feet.
Is that what it
He
is?
went down.
Because he's a Southern guy, right? He's like a North Carolina.
Yeah, I think so. Carolina guy.
He's playing for the Diamondbacks this year.
Yeah.
You would think there'd be something in his contract.
Yeah, no rodeo.
Like, if I'm the Diamondbacks and I'm paying him, I'm pretty concerned.
Yeah. I mean, he's not riding bulls,
True.
so that's a plus.
So he came in, they took home the biggest paycheck in this contest. Him and his partner roped 4 steers
Yeah, they did.
in 31.36 seconds to pocket the $26,650 cash prize.
So he gets what he gets for pitching 2 innings.
So split that in half. He made a little over $13,000.
It's hilarious. Good for him. I like it.
What's Mad Bum doing with that $13,000?
He's probably letting his buddy have it. He's probably letting the other guy who won have it, right? He's like hyper rich.
He's like, I got 10 years worth of
He's
chewing
like,
tobacco.
I get the buckle and you get the cash. Right? They get belt buckles when they win these things.
Yeah. I think we need to bring back Lil Tex. Maybe Lil Tex does rodeo. What do you think?
Rodeo clown.
Me and Bilbo, we've talked about Lil Tex making a comeback. There's rumors.
Where's Little Tex going?
Okay. Oh, okay.
He said no spoilers.
Yeah, I won't because we got a few hot ideas for Lil Tex to make a comeback. So the last thing I want to discuss, Praino, Major League Baseball, and I don't know how they're going to handle this, but the Astros in an early spring training game, signs were taken away.
So fucking dumb.
Now here's my
Now
thing.
you're not like people are being punished for being upset at the Astros more than the Astros are being punished.
So here's my
Rob Manfred, you're a dick.
Well, here's my thing. Before we say that, most ballparks do have a no sign policy, I will say. So I know I looked up Dodger Stadium out of curiosity. That's always been their policy.
No signs whatsoever.
No signs. You can't bring signs in. So if that was the policy, then they're just
Enforcing the regular policy. But I've also seen clips, aren't they like
they weren't bad signs. Look,
aren't guys like getting like told to sit down or whatever for just like yelling at the players?
this was the sign.
What does that say?
Houston asterisk. It says Houston and it has an asterisk sign with an S. Now they share a ballpark with the Nationals,
Right.
And this was the first game, and the signs were taken away. I agree with you. Now baseball, you're already walking on thin ice. If you start taking away signs,
If that's the rule, that's the rule.
Exactly.
But don't I if we start hearing about guys getting kicked out of ballparks for saying cheater or whatever, or chanting stuff, blah blah blah, then we're gonna have a real situation on our hands. But we already have a real situation on our hands, which is why we're getting a fucking GoFundMe to start paying people's fines.
yeah.
And paying people's tickets if they get thrown out of ballparks.
So I looked
The
up.
Houston Astros Defense Fund.
So like this is the Dodgers policy because I wanted to look it up. The Dodgers policy is no signs. Also, same thing, which you probably already would have known. No profanity.
Sure.
Like if you're swearing
Right.
and saying obscene things, they can kick you out, which is completely understandable.
Which is what I said when people asked what we should chant at the Astros. Don't swear because, first of all, you get thrown out. Also, this kid's around. Just be creative.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just hope baseball is smart enough, and they probably aren't. We're already seeing it. Again, if there was already this rule, fine, you're enforcing the rule. But this isn't going anywhere. Have you watched a lot of the clips? I've watched a lot of the clips of the games.
Yeah.
The heckles.
Yeah.
They've been pretty funny. I have zero sympathy for the Astros
Yeah,
players.
how could you? That's why we're starting this GoFundMe. I'm so stoked about this.
You're for real.
I'm for real.
We'll start a GoFundMe when the show ends.
Yes.
And we'll have that link available.
Yeah. Support players that want to drill the Astros.
Gotcha.
Or any fines incurred for being, taking it out on the Astros. I love it.
Yeah. Now, can you do that? Does anybody, can you do just, in a way, a never-ending GoFundMe?
I don't know. We can set a goal. We can set a goal of $500,000, $10,000 fines,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that Australian kid who got bullied, they raised like $500,000.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing this to that, but
I am. How much money did that kid need? We're going to pay multiple fines here. I hope that kid shares some of his funds with us.
yeah,
We talked to Brad Williams about that.
yeah,
How many times can this kid go to Disneyland?
a lot for $500,000.
Yeah. No, they said they were giving it to anti-bullying campaigns and stuff like that. But
That was wild how that played out.
yeah,
People were claiming he was 18.
yeah. People are going to make claims about us when we start this GoFundMe.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe people will say, hey, that went towards a new couch.
Yeah. Maybe it will.
Maybe they'll go towards pizza slice at Costco.
Pizza slice at the pizza place across the street where they're $9.
$6.95
Ridiculous.
for a slice of pepperoni.
I'll burn that place down.
Can I reveal, Nick, can I reveal my idea for that at least?
Do what you want.
I feel like you don't want me to.
No, it's fine. It's all you. It's up to you.
Reveal it so we can get out of here because I'm about to pass out.
They're opening a pizza place across the street. They want to charge $4.95 for a slice of, they are. $4.95 for a slice of cheese, $6.95 for a slice of pepperoni. On their opening day, which is March 2nd, I said to Nick, it'd be funny if I bought a bunch of Costco pizzas, set up a stand right next to where they're selling these ridiculously high-priced slices
I
of
think
pizza.
this is awesome.
Have Nick film it and me sell slices of Costco pizza for $1.
Yeah.
Or give them out for free.
Yeah, no, sell them. Like, what is a pie of Costco cost?
At least $7.95.
For 8 slices.
I mean, 8 massive slices.
Yeah.
It's like an extra large
Yeah.
pizza.
So sell them for $1 and just, the battle against pizza is gentrification.
Yeah.
Don't let your neighborhood get gentrified by shithead pizza places.
$8 slices of pepperoni.
Ridiculous. 2 slices of pizza and a can of soda, $5. That's New York. That's standard. if you're pricing your shit and much higher than that, you're just an asshole.
Yeah. You are.
You're just an asshole.
You really are.
Just trying to take advantage of you. $7.90, $6.95. Get the fuck out of here. Nonsense. I love it. I love your idea. I'll come and I'll buy a bunch of pizza.
Love it. We'll do it. All right, guys, that's the show. We made it through. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Dirty Sports. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow me at Andy Ruther. Follow Joe at Fix Your Life on Twitter and at Joe Praino on Instagram.
Yeah. Follow me while you still can. I'm on my last leg here.
Literally.
Yeah.
The Xbox is here. Nick has been crushing the NBA 2K game.
Add half of a chub on Xbox Live. I've been playing with my boy Matt Olstein and Steve. I'd love to play with some more dirt balls.
Half of a chub. That's your username?
With spaces. Half space of space a space chub.
Is there one B or two B's in Chubb?
One B and chub.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's the show. Have a great weekend. Turn on those notifications. You never know. We might go live. Until then, love you guys. And most importantly, stay dirty. That was good, bro. That was an hour and 18 minutes.